So the first thing that we have to start with is, of course, Giannis going crazy against the Nets. But really, I want to look at all the jump shots because it's one of those times where you realize Giannis is just completely unguardable. I mean, clearly the game plan for DJ was give Giannis space, and the amount of times he made shots like this in this Nets game, it was crazy, man. And it's pretty wild to think sometimes. Just like, look at this. This is an MVP. This is one of the best players in the league, and they're giving him this much space on the jumper. It's insane, and it was wild how even as Giannis just kept making shots, the game plan remained the same, which was like, just give him that shot. I mean, sure, maybe have a little bit of a contest, of course, but I don't know, man. You just go with the math, and the math says it's better to give you this shot as opposed to letting you work down here. And I mean, this is obvious, but it's like if Giannis makes these types of shots consistently, this one was really nuts. If this is the one I remember, yeah, when he banks it in. It says it right there, I should know that. It just makes him completely unguardable. But even if he's making these, they're still going to do this, because what else are you really going to do, you know? But I do think there's some interesting things here about, like, mastering this area, because obviously this is going to be easier to make than threes. I mean, sure, if you can shoot like 36% from outside and you shoot like 39% from here, then it's better to shoot the three. But I don't know, if Giannis can get to like 45% or so on these types of shots, then even that's massive. Ben Simmons tips it in to win the game at the buzzer. I regrettably did not catch this game. I was watching Celtics Blazers, and I also was traumatized by Tatum and Jalen colliding with each other, so I was kind of NBA'd out for the night. Anyway, we can barely see Tobias, but he gets it to Joel at the elbow. There's some activity going on. Ben's in the dunker spot, but there's not a whole lot of movement. But there you go. If you don't box out Ben, that's what's going to happen. Who is the culprit here? That looks like Rudy Gay. Yeah, Rudy. Did Rudy really need to help? I mean, you already had two guys there. You made Embiid shoot right there. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like just sticking to Ben would have been the move there. Unless it was actually Keldon Johnson's fault. If so, my mistake. With a loss to the Raptors today, LeBron has still not managed to beat the Raptors since his move to Los Angeles. Well, that means if the Raptors get into the finals against the Lakers, then they're going to win. Should be pretty simple, I would imagine. Rondo comes from the baseline to double Jokic, and then Campazzo in the corner. Yeah, this one was nuts. This is similar to the Giannis thing in terms of playing the math, I guess. The problem is Jokic is so damn good that it's just like, what the hell do you do? I mean, I guess you would still take, Kawhi closing out on a guy in the corner as opposed to Jokic being able to comfortably work in the post. I mean, this is probably maybe like a 39% shot for Campazzo wide open in the corner. I haven't looked at his corner stats. For all I know, he shoots like 55% from that corner. But if you're going to play the math, it's like, all right, we'll give you that. It's just Jokic is one of the few guys who is going to get it to him on time with a perfect pass every time. Lakers have lost 6 of the last 7, losing to the Raptors without Van Fleet, Gary Trent, OG. So I didn't really talk about the Lakers themselves too much in the play-in video I did a few hours ago, but watching that game last night, they just looked really flat. Like the ball movement wasn't really there, walking the ball up court. Defensively, they didn't seem engaged enough. There wasn't enough yelling at each other. There wasn't enough pointing around, being like, you go there. All the things that we know for the Lakers defense from last season, it just wasn't really happening. And I mean, I don't know. They could just flip the switch like that, but they better do it, because I know LeBron's not happy with the play-in, but he might have to be in the play-in if they don't get things settled quick. And even then, LeBron's going to miss this next game, so it'll be interesting. We'll see if AD is ready to be that guy. He just had maybe his worst game of the season. Could be still feeling it with the Achilles. Schroeder is now out for 10 to 14 days with health protocols, so they're gonna have to do it a little bit here, or else they're gonna be in the play-in. Robert Horry graduates from Alabama 29 years after his last season. Well, that's great. We congratulate Robert on that. 7-time NBA champion. Good Lord. Is he the Hall of Fame role player? I guess he could be. I think it's Iguodala and Golden State is still like the golden standard for role players to me, but Robert Horry is definitely on the elite tier of role guys. Knicks have won 11 of their last 12, clinched a 500 record for the first time since 2012. I don't know if we're all realizing just how insane it is that the Knicks are good right now. Maybe we are fully realizing it. I mean, Knicks fans are because they're going crazy in front of the Garden and stuff. But it's nuts. How crazy is it that the Knicks and the Suns are good? That hasn't been a thing for so long. Luka gets his 15th tech and gets ejected. Yeah, not the best time to be one tech away from being suspended a game. How impressive is it that he's at 15 in a shortened season? Is that Rasheed Wallace levels of technical? I don't think so. I mean, Rasheed could probably get to like 25 even in a shortened season or so. But still, not great from Luka. Weird loss for Dallas last night. You figured they would have won that game. Oh yeah, Daryl Morey coming back at LeBron. I can't believe the NBA hastily, is it hastily or hastily? I think it's hastily. I went to college. Implemented a change that makes games more interesting and meaningful. Yeah, this is the reply to the play-in tournament sucks thing. It's more fun. I did a whole spiel about the play, and I don't really want to get into it again. But this is, that's the other side of the argument. Mavs coach Rick Carlisle. I've got 4 technicals this year. They're all from the same guy. I'm not sure exactly what that says, but there's a saying, reasonable men have a right to disagree. Rick Carlisle could write a book or something. LaMelo with the crossover to get past Dragic before switching hands in midair and laying it in. Isn't it great to have LaMelo back? Beats Dragic there. We got the nice screen by Biyombo. Duncan Robinson playing some defense. That's a nice thing to see. If I was him, I wouldn't play any defense, because why would I? That's great, man. LaMelo, he definitely got better throughout the year at finishing. I think early in the season, especially in the preseason, he would have kind of panicked in this scenario and probably tossed up some, floater from right here. But instead, he's composed. Once again, the screen from Biyombo helps. Very good. Does he have time to win Rookie of the Year back from Anthony Edwards? I don't know. It'll be an interesting conversation depending on how those two finish out the season. PJ Tucker mic'd up, talks about guarding KD to KD. I don't want to risk the copyright here, but basically he's like, dude, I just watched your last 3 games and you didn't bust out that move once. It was a pretty cool moment. I wonder what types of conversations NBA players get into when they're just hanging out on the court or whatever. I'm sure not all of it is fit for television. Blake Griffin skies for the putback jam off the KD miss. Blake Griffin has so many people mad on Twitter because they're just like, he's a liar and all that stuff. Is he a liar? Maybe 2%, but so what, man? He was on the Pistons. Give him a break. Okay? If Blake Griffin goes off in the playoffs, he's going to average 10 points, which could actually be pretty huge, but still, it's the things to get mad at, maybe it's Blake, I don't know, we'll see. Oh god, my freaking nightmare coming true. Jalen and Tatum collide. This was the weirdest thing. How could you just make me hate life for 4 seconds? Have these two be on the floor at the same time. Jalen seemed to get it worse than Tatum. I don't think there's been an official word on with Jalen so far, but he already had an ankle thing or whatever it was, so that's not good. This was a weird game because there was no defense. I don't even think the Celtics played that bad. It's just both teams just couldn't miss. I was like, okay, I guess this is going to be a loss. Giannis blocks KD. Kyrie drills the 3 to beat the shot clock. It was a pretty great game. It's not often you see KD get blocked on jump shots. And it raises an interesting question, shout out to Kyrie, if these two meet in the playoffs, will Giannis just defend KD one-on-one all the time? Because he's one of the few guys who can do this. And I know they want to have Giannis in the help defense role, and he's great in that, no doubt about it, but sometimes you just got to put him on the other team's best player, and I think it's interesting. I mean, one thing that I noticed in this game was Giannis was playing a lot of center, and well, not a super lot. I'm sure Brook Lopez still played a lot of minutes, but it was a thing. And the Bucks have been switching on defense more this season. You put all that together, Milwaukee, they could be interesting. They could be very interesting. LaMelo, full court assist. How many full court assists does LaMelo have this season? Like 12, 13? He had one like the second he got back. This is like a, I need to pad my assist stats in my career type of deal. Boban making a center, Rashawn Holmes seem like a mismatched guard, if I can talk properly. Boban's usage rate is like among the highest in NBA history. Whenever he's in the game, he gets the ball in the post. If he could move on defense, he would probably average like 30 points a game because he is a force on offense. Offensive rebounding, this type stuff, getting fouled. I mean, you look at Boban's per 36 or whatever, or per 100 possessions, he averages like 28 points and like 15 rebounds. It's just, he can't move out there on defense like that. Giannis flies high for the alley-oop. So we have like a fake handoff, then we have an actual handoff, set the screen, force the switch, KD is on the wrong side of Giannis. And so there you go. See, that's another thing the Bucks are doing. A little more of setting screens for Giannis. Just saying, they're doing some things. Siakam blocks AD to seal the Raptors' win. Yeah, the Lakers had a moment in this game where it was getting a little close. And perhaps if this goes in, it would have been a moment of like, oh my God, we could still do this. But nah, that was it. Kyle Lowry, heat check triple, 18 seconds left. Yeah, he hit back-to-back threes, I believe it was. This was like a peak Kyle Lowry game. Oh, this is the stupid one. Okay, yeah. Never mind. He had one that was really cool, and then he had this one. Still, that was like Kyle Lowry's NBA Finals last night or something. I mean, the Raptors are still technically in it, but they're kind of not still in it, so you need something to hang your hat on. Tristan Thompson, offensive goaltending. Where's Tristan? Yeah, it's pretty sure that was off the cylinder and then some. Yeah, safe to say that wasn't going to fall into the hoop or hit the rim or whatever, so yeah. Mavericks last 9 games, lost to the Kings, 3-game win streak, lost to the Kings, 3-game win streak, lost to the Kings. I have 2 responses. 1, that's just weird. 2, why have they played the Kings so closely 3 times? Isn't the point of a schedule to stretch it out? I guess maybe there were some cancellations and then they had to make up for it now. That's what I'm going to go with. Evan Fournier has felt weird since returning from thing YouTube might demonetize me for. Yeah, man, dude's 28 years old and he's feeling it. Tatum's 22 or something and he was feeling it. And Tristan Thompson got it really bad as well. That's just how it is for the Celtics. And we hope that Fournier is still doing all right. He just had maybe his best game as a Celtic. With the Nets loss, the 76ers officially hold the number 1 seed in the East. Which team is it more important for to get the 1 seed? I feel like it's Philly. Partially because they're not as talented as the Nets. So therefore it gives them the 1 seed, or home court advantage. Whereas for the Nets, it's like, KD's won titles. Harden has been on deep playoff runs. Kyrie's won a title, of course. So they probably don't care as much. Kevin Durant can't get the game-tying 3 to fall. That was a bit of a tongue twister for some reason. Yeah, man, I was waiting for the Skip Bayless tweet to vilify KD for missing this, but he didn't. I love how self-aware Skip is. He's like, well, I can't tweet about Kevin Durant missing the last shot because that goes against my gimmick. But if LeBron does the same thing, then I'm going to go crazy. Which is why I then made a sarcastic tweet of like, Kevin Durant just ruined his legacy. In reality, it's totally chill whatever it happens. DeMarcus Cousins yesterday in the loss to the Clippers, 16 points, 3 boards, all that stuff. He was also very angry at the refs for a few calls, but yeah, he was good. As a Kings fan, it always makes me happy to see Boogie throw it back a little. There's different ways that sentence could be interpreted. We will move on. Steph Curry in April, 37, 6-5, 51, 46, 90. What a month for the babyface assassin, or as Kendrick Perkins would call him, the light-skinned guy with green eyes, which is like the weirdest thing that is going on in the NBA media. Perkins, why do you say weird things when you talk about Steph Curry? I don't know. Anyway, Steph's really good, no doubt. And this is something with the playoffs for the Warriors. Okay? Their biggest problem is they're terrible when Steph isn't in the game. Their other problem was that Wiseman wasn't good enough to help them win right now. And of course, we are not happy with Wiseman being hurt, but for the sake of the team, it's just facts. Like Kevon Looney, Draymond at center, it's better fundamentally. It's more ready to play defense right now. And if you get them in a playoff series with Steph going crazy and playing like 40 minutes a game, just saying, man, they could be kind of scary. The other thing, too, is if they're going to switch all the time on defense, that could be tough to score on. I mean, Wiggins is big. Draymond can still defend. Oubre is tall. Juan Toscano-Anderson's got some size to him. Like, just saying, it could be a thing. And with the Lakers' loss, the Clippers will clinch a playoff berth 9th time in 10 seasons. Here's the thing with the Clippers, man. If you just want to go by subtraction on teams, like you can say Nuggets are out because of Murray. Lakers, if you really want to be a pessimist, you can say the injuries are going to do them in. If you don't believe in the Suns and the Jazz because they don't have like an elite player or whatever, then you're at the Clippers. I'm just saying. Could be the year.